Welcome back, Internet, to another Reddit story. We're back to anti-MLM? This soon? Oh, well, I heard a story on the radio that I think you guys should hear, so yeah, let's get into it. All the Lindas of the world, in case you missed it. Okay, Facebook people, I don't want to sell unique. I don't want to teach for VIP Kid. Like, stop posting pictures of yourself at 4:45 teaching every morning. Okay, I get it. Congrats, you teach from home and sell makeup to all the Lindas of the world. But please stop asking me to join. Now, me being a guy, I'm obviously not going to be, like, given these opportunities to sell makeup from home or anything like that. So it's from the outside looking in as a guy. But, like, why can't you just block those people? It just seems like to me, like, if you have a friend that's on Facebook and she's selling all of her unique crap or whatever else she's trying to pawn off, can't you just block her or at least hide notifications from her? Seems like an easy fix to me. Vox Hun tries to scam my disabled father. Today, I took my father to the local flea market. For context, he's in his early 60s, had a stroke 10 years ago, walks with a cane, has difficulty speaking due to aphasia, and is extremely friendly. We walked past an older woman who jumped up and told us she was going to tell us about an amazing product. She had socks and insoles laid out and a big poster explaining the health benefits of her socks. Vox Life, I think? My dad will talk to anybody, so he stopped and listened. Then he told her, "It's okay." His code for, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And proceeded into his limited spiel he gives anybody that he meets. After about a minute, he told her that he'd had a stroke. This monster tells him that she had a good friend who had a stroke and couldn't speak well. She said that she gave her a pair of her socks and then called her a few days later and had a perfectly normal conversation as if she'd never had a stroke. My dad thankfully didn't process what had happened, and I pulled him away after visibly rolling my eyes at her and firmly telling her that we were not interested. She kept trying to talk to us as we walked away, but I tuned her out. I'm still fuming. I emailed the flea market with a complaint. I'm just happy he didn't understand what was happening. You always hear stories about Huns just trying to sell people on any sort of medical benefits just to make that dollar. I took this photo a couple weeks ago on my Twitter, at Kyoto Combat, at a local fair that we had, where a guy was trying to sell magnetic bracelets. Therapeutic for pain relief, balance, headaches, diabetes, joint pain, high blood pressure, arthritis, and much more. I mean, we're in 2019, right? Like, these magnetic bracelets are going to help you with diabetes? Because magnets help you with... what? Like, you're not made of metal. Is it interacting with the iron in your blood? Like, I don't understand how things like this can even just, like, be a thing. This is definitely like snake oil. But anyway, anything to make a dollar. So you may ask me, like, how come you're making an anti-MLM so soon after the previous one? Well, I was listening to a podcast of a show in Salt Lake called the Radio from Hell Show. It's been a radio show in Salt Lake for, gosh, almost 30 years. I've listened to it for the past 20 or so years. But they had a story about a Utah representative, or former representative, Mia Love, that was talking about how she sells doTERRA stuff to Congress people and how she has people under her in Congress and how she wants to get back to Congress to sell those products. Anyway, I'm just going to play the clip.
Anyway, let's go to Mia Love, shall we?
No.
So I was listening to the radio yesterday, and I heard an interview with Mia Love, a rather extensive interview with Mia Love.
Yeah.
It was conducted by Kirk Jowers, who I have met many times, and I like a lot. He's a political guy, a Republican guy, does had a lot of political organizing over the years, and kind of a political analyst. And but he's recently, not so recently now, but a few years ago, he got out of all of that and took a job, and he is a vice president with doTERRA.
So, just for clarification, Mia Love, she was a representative out of Utah that is now attempting to possibly make a comeback to go back into Congress She's been out for one term here in Utah, and she's being interviewed by Kurt Jowers. Kurt Jowers is a political analyst. I believe he graduated out of Brigham Young University, and he now is a vice president for doTERRA. And she's being interviewed by him on a news network, a KSL news network.
You go to doTERRA and you become a distributor, and you buy a whole bunch of products and you put them in your garage, and then you try to sell them to make up for the money you put into it to your friends and neighbors and people in your ward. And
please, Bill, they're called wellness advocates.
Is that what they call them? Wellness advocates.
Yeah.
So that's what doTERRA does. They've been cautioned on some occasions by the FDA for making claims about their healing powers of their essential oils that may not be true.
To be fair, the company doesn't. Their wellness advocates on their own have done that.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration had issued a warning to doTERRA for allowing its distributors to market its products as possible treatments or cures for Ebola, cancer, autism, and other conditions in violation of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. With the big wildfires in California, there were doTERRA distributors saying that the doTERRA products could purify the air and protect against health effects of smoke from the fires.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So this is the company. And Kirk Jowers is a vice president of the company, and he's filling in for somebody on KSL and interviewing Mia Love.
Okay.
We'll get back to Mia Love now.
Okay.
So Mia Love, they go on and they talk about, are you going to run again, and this and that, and she gives her silly answers that she gives.
Maybe.
And sounds, sounds not so sure about anything. And then right toward the end of the interview, Kirk Jowers says, it's always a pleasure to see you, Mia. I want to thank you for, you always bring something nice. You always bring a gift to people. And I want to thank you for this beautiful soap that you brought me. This great soap that I don't know, she made the soap or something. And it smells so good. And it's, she said, well, it's,
really?
yeah, she said, well, it's, no, it's even worse. It's even worse.
Hmm?
Well, it's, it's the doTERRA. You know how much I love doTERRA, Kirk. You know how much I love doTERRA, and she loves doTERRA because, for many reasons, probably the least of which may not be that they donated $28,000 to her campaign at one point. But then she goes on to say, I made a lot of friends with this doTERRA when I was in Congress. And I gave this to a lot of people in Congress. So essentially, the United States Congress was her downline.
Yeah.
And she said, so maybe if I get reelected, I can get back to doing the doTERRA in the United States Congress.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently, Mia Love is a distributor for doTERRA, and other senators and Congresspeople are her downline. I don't know. I listened to that, and I went, these people have no shame. Zero amount of shame.
But they smell great.
And let's not forget that Mia needs to be reelected so she can fulfill her promise.
Yeah.
We should just eliminate the Department of Education.
She needs to get on that.
So yeah, she needs to get back to Congress so she can get more Huns underneath her. Yeah, so that's who we had in Congress. We had a Hun bot in Congress. Seems about right. It's kind of a little shady to me where you have a guy that's a political analyst, kind of donates $28,000 to her campaign, has her in an interview, and she gives back the doTERRA products back to him, and then also says how much she loves doTERRA. Perfect example about how lobbyists work and about how campaign donations happen. Anyway, and that whole thing at the end where there was a quote of her saying how she wants to eliminate the Department of Education. Yeah, it's a totally true thing. That was one of her campaign things. She wanted to eliminate the Department of Education. Well, she only served one term in Congress, and she's probably, if she does attempt to get reelected, I mean, she lost by so much in the last one where I don't think that that's going to happen. But anyway, this is the reason why I wanted to have another anti-MLM thing, because I heard this on the radio and I'm like, wow, yeah, you guys need to hear this. Thank you again for joining me on another anti-MLM Reddit thing. If you guys want to listen to a good podcast, if you're trying to find something, there's a daily radio show in Salt Lake called the Radio from Hell Show. That's where I got the clip from. Just search on a podcast for Radio from Hell. The episodes are about 2.5 hours long each, Monday through Friday. It's a pretty good show. Anyway, thanks for joining me. If you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and share with a friend. I will see you guys in the next episode. So until then, later, kids.